Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. We have a great show today. I'm going to be doing a show called Confessions. Before I start the show, I want everybody to make sure to check out the links below. Make sure to check out Instagram, which we've got great pictures of me as a kid and stuff like that. And we got a bunch of good stuff in the links below. This show is called Confessions, and I'll tell you what we did. We asked everybody on the community page if they would send in old confessions they had, maybe minor crimes they did or something when they were younger, and they kind of wanted to get it off their chest, I'm calling it. So it's going to be kind of fun. I'm going to read some of them and comment on some of you criminals is what I'm calling. I'm telling you, it's been a lot of fun. I've been reading these. We got over 500. I'm starting to read them, and I'm telling you, some of them I'm cracking up. I'm talking to my brother about, and we're sitting there, and he's cracking up, and I am too. And I thought I'd share them with you guys. And comment on some of you masterminds, as I'm calling you. So you might hear your confession right here, so keep sending them in. First one. When I was around 7 years old, I remember taking candy out of a store because it had a toy with it. I am 21 and no one still knows. They do now. John Andrews out of Arizona. No, I'm only kidding everybody. I won't do that. First of all, I don't know who it is. These are all anonymous, so I just wanted to get that out there. But I thought I'd make somebody think whoever it was. Be funny if it really was somebody like that. I have no idea who they are, nor do I care. I don't care what you got away with. First of all, just to let you know about the law. Any crime you committed and it's been 5 years, that's called the statute of limitations. So don't worry about it. Any of this is going to be fun. Here's another one. I drained a guy's PayPal after he scammed me out of 20 lira. You scare me, because I have PayPal. Guys who are computer stuff, they really do scare me, because it is out there. But a friend of mine told me a great quick story. We were on a golf course, and he said to me, Larry, he goes, what are you worried about anybody stealing your identity? He goes, could you imagine a cop pulling him over? Because when I got pulled over by a cop, what'd they do? They pulled me out of the car, put me behind the car, put me in handcuffs, and said, you're not under arrest, but this is for officer safety. Because they ran my name, and my name came back, violent offender, been in prison for a dozen years, the whole works. And anyway, they let me go, but how would have you liked to be the guy who stole my identity? Get out of the car, put your hand, I'm not him. That's what they would have did. I got a kick out of that, but he said, don't worry about your identity getting stolen. But that's not true. And I do know a lot of you guys are smart. In an earlier video, someone knew exactly where my address was by the garbage pail. I got a kick out of it. I don't try to hide anything. But it's pretty amazing. You guys with computers are real good, so you scare me. I once stole a chocolate bar from a supermarket when I was 14. I got arrested and got a misdemeanor. And I'm allergic to chocolates. Wow. What'd I tell you? Don't steal anything you can't either use or get rid of. Unless you were looking to sell these candy bars, not a good move. It's amazing that they actually gave you probation and a misdemeanor charge for robbing a candy bar. I've never heard of that. I don't know where you're from, but that's pretty minor. I seen a kid get barred out of the store, maybe given a lesson, lectured by a cop, but for stealing a candy bar at 14 years old, I saw other things, cases that I know of, even family members that I know who got caught stealing something minor. And hello, daughter. No, just a minor BS, and we laugh about it today. When I was a kid, me and my friends used to steal candy from the dollar store. One night, we were behind the store, tallying up our score when some older guys jumped us. We were just dumb kids, so we ran into the dollar store to call the cops. By the time the cops showed up, the older guys were gone, and we were arrested for stealing the candy. We literally called the cops on ourselves. Wow. Obviously, that happens. It's amazing when a drug dealer gets robbed. Who's he going to go to? You guys actually told on yourself. I mean, can you imagine a drug dealer saying, hey, listen, I was just robbed of $10,000 and a kilo of coke. What are you going to do? The cops are going to arrest them as well. When I was a kid, I remember, this is a true story. I was about 13 years old, and back in the 70s, in the early 70s, they had a thing called streaking. So we were 13, 14-year-old kids. We take our clothes off and we streak along the highway in the Bronx. And the cars were honking their horn. And we're little kids running with our bare asses running down the street. And we go back to where we left our clothes. And the older kids stole our clothes. True story. The kids stole our clothes. Here we are now in our neighborhood in the Bronx. And we're all these little kids. We had about 4 of us. So what did we do? We ran to my house, and we went through the garage of my house. And here we are running through the streets. It was so funny because I remember, and I'll never forget, we were ducking by cars just so nobody would see us that knew us in the neighborhood. You wanted a streak, but you wanted a streak to people who don't know you. Otherwise, they can say, hey, your kid's streaking with no clothes on there. So anyway, we get to my house, we get through the garage, and they all used clothes that were in my downstairs in our basement is where we had a washer and dryer, and the other guys put clothes on. But it was crazy because I'll never forget the feeling of, oh my God, they stole our clothes, and the older kids that to us. So beware of your surroundings, and trust me, there's other people watching you when you don't think they are. I was at a Walmart with my mother to get my things for a project for school, and I forgot my Elmer's glue in my pocket, and I walked out without even getting caught. Take notes, Larry, from the Elmer's glue thief. You're not a thief. There's a thing in the law called mens rea, and that means you have to have the intent to steal something. You don't just, that was a mistake. You have to have intent, and you didn't have intent, so legally, you didn't do anything wrong. So I'm going to take the thief off your title. You're not a thief. Here's a long one, but it's a pretty good one. When I was 19, I was living in a small apartment with a buddy. We were young, dumb, hustling, and doing dirt to get by. It was Christmas time, late one night, and my buddy and I stopped by the bank to get money from the ATM. In the lobby, where the ATM was, they had a Christmas tree. Well, my buddy and I were fairly intoxicated, and we decided what we needed to do was grab the Christmas tree for the apartment. So we stole the tree from the bank, dragging it down the street, through some alleys, up to our apartment, a thick trail of tinsel and ornaments straight from the bank to our apartment. After taking the time to get it set up in the living room, we realized how stupid of an idea it was. So we took it back down and got rid of it. The next morning, we woke up to a knock at the door. Sure enough, it was the local cops. They asked if they could look inside our place, and we didn't refuse. They were obviously looking for something big, maybe tree-sized, and then left. The trail of tinsel still leading right up to the door. They knew we had something to do with it, but with no stolen property and us playing completely dumb, we got away with it. Let me give you why you really got away with it, and I'm going to give you some advice here. And this is good advice from Uncle Larry. Never let a cop in your house. And your people are going to go, what do you mean? Even though you knew the tree wasn't there, if they walked in your house because you invited them in, and they saw maybe a joint or something illegal in that house, they could arrest you. It's called the plain sight doctrine. Don't ever let a cop in your house. You say to him, excuse me, officer, if you'd like to talk to me, I'll step out front. I got away with some stuff when I was doing my criminal career, and when the cops were looking for me, my wives knew about that, and my wife wouldn't let the cop in the house, and my son was very young at the time, and my wife said, excuse me, officer, I'll step out. My son, I don't want police or anybody in my house. And I was in the house they were looking for. I was literally up a stairway, hiding, listening to the whole conversation. And they said, oh, we just want to talk to him and all this. There was a warrant out for me. I didn't know at that time. But she never let them in the house, and my wives knew never to do that. Never let a cop in your house. Now, listen, people are going to start saying, oh, wow, you're teaching people. No, I'm teaching the law. Also, on this case, I want to commend you guys for sticking strong. You didn't confess. You didn't say, oh, yeah, we did it. It was a joke or something. You stuck strong. I got to give you a lot of kudos there. All right, you're one rung up. You passed my first test. Next one. When I was in high school, I stole $100 plus in golf balls over the course of one summer. I'm an avid golfer and had no money for golf balls. He started laughing. I'm an avid golfer. Matter of fact, I golf today. It's the one thing you could do during this virus is go out and golf. You're an avid golfer. You got the balls. I mean, I wanted a little more of this story because I'm a golfer. At least you stole something you can use, golf balls. Obviously, you didn't graduate and go up to clubs because maybe I'd have been your next customer. I'm looking for new clubs. Okay, next one. When I was around 11, my friend and I used to go to the local bowling alley. For some reason, one day we figured out that you could fit your arm up into the vending machines in the gents, the ones dispensing condoms. Slide a mechanism across, then proceed to empty the machine. Haha. So over a number of weeks, we proceeded to completely clear them out of product. We were left with packs and packs of them. But obviously, We were way too young to use or do anything with them. So he ended up selling them to his older brother and their friends. This is the UK, and it was back before you could easily get them for free. It was just funny because we barely knew anything about sex, but had boxes and boxes full of all sorts of variants. Still makes me laugh, and at least we made some cash in the end. That is kind of funny. Obviously, you are a little bit older, maybe my age or maybe a little younger, but you're right. It was funny, though. The vending machines are in those places. I still see some of them. I'm not going to say I went to a sex store or something. No, but that one had me laughing because you stole something. You actually got rid of it, which was pretty cool. You probably stole it just to steal it, but you actually got rid of it, which is pretty cool. When I was young, like 6 and 7, I stole a few Hot Wheel cars from my stepdad's sister's son. I didn't have those, and I just had to have them. I'm now 21 and still think about it sometimes. That's how guilty it made me feel. The smallest thing. I've stolen from the shops and all, but that's all past me. I still regret the Hot Wheels the most. He must have been like 5 at the time, wondering where his cool car toys went. Good for you for feeling a little guilty. I'm glad you do. That means you really got a good heart. Your parents raised a good young guy. You reminded me of a story, and I'm out somebody who you guys know on this place, because it's my son. And I'll tell you this story. It's a funny one. I was in prison, and my ex-wife calls me and says, on the phone we talk, and she goes, your son got caught stealing cars out of the school. He went to a Catholic school, and he stole little trucks they had. And at first he goes, he's stealing cars, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about? He's like 7, 8 years old. Well, my son took these little Hot Wheel cars, or whatever they were, little toy cars from the school. So when he took the Hot Wheel cars from the school, he gets caught. What does he say? He says, I can't tell you where I got them. And my ex-wife is hot. You better tell me where you got them. My daddy told me I'm not allowed to tell. As a dad, I got the biggest kick out of that, because I taught my kids, what you do, you don't tell on anybody. You just do it and you stay strong. My son, to this day, he's a great kid. Obviously, he's not in the criminal world, thank God, or anything of that nature. But it was so funny because my son was listening to me not to tell. But that story with the Hot Wheels really reminded me of that, because we just laugh about that. I'll talk to my son about this after this video goes up. He said, why'd you tell my story, Pop? Me and my friend stole over 200 batteries from Toys R Us while they were liquidating their stock before closing. We all play Xbox, and the controllers ate through them in not even a month. Thankfully, we have switched to rechargeable. That's kind of funny, and that's kind of ingenuity. You stole something you can use. You guys figured out a way to get some batteries. I got to give you a lot of credit. That's a pretty good hustle. And I'll bet that store barely ever knew they were robbed. And that goes back to the story in one of my videos, and you guys can look it up. Look in the link below what video it was that I explain about robbing a store of plumbing supplies. That's the one. I once watched Larry Lawton video with an ad blocker. This one, come on, man. This one hit me. You robbed me. I got a kick out of it, though. I didn't even know you could do that. In 5th grade, we had a timed math test every Friday. Each test was supposed to be 15 minutes long. The teacher would always count in his head to what he thought was 15 minutes. I was suspect the teacher only gave us 10 to 12 minutes. So one day before the test, I decided to steal the teacher's stopwatch out of his desk. Come Friday, he started the test as usual, and as soon as he said go, I started the stopwatch. 13 minutes in, the teacher told everybody to put their pencils down. Everyone did except me. I continued 2 more minutes, and then the stopwatch went off loud enough for everybody in the room to hear it, and I explained to the teacher I stole it to prove him wrong. And I was immediately sent to the principal's office and was suspended. That is hilarious. You actually did something criminal to show a wrong by somebody else. I don't know if that's a crime. I mean, it is a crime. Obviously, taking something that's not yours and trying to justify it is pretty cool. I'll bet that teacher was getting laughed at in the teacher's lounge as well. Man, this kid's caught you. What are you doing? I think, or he was too embarrassed to say. This one was kind of funny. Wow, you got some memory, this guy. When I was 3 or 4, I would steal nails from the hardware store when I went with my dad. I would go up to the car and bend over to tie my shoe or fix my Velcro and put the nails behind the car tires. I'm not sure why I did it, but I'm sure karma kicked me in the ass later. First of all, you remember 3 and 4. You were real good. Great memory. You don't belong stealing. To think at 3 or 4, even 5, how to do a diversion tactic. Like, bending down to tie your shoe or fix a Velcro at 5 years old. You said 3 or 4. Wow. You're a criminal mastermind. You're on the team. You got the brains. But I don't know what you were stealing. But I can't even knock you for that. Just to think how to do that at that age. Pretty slickster there. Long story short, I stole all of my math teacher's staples because he gave us homework over the spring break. I snuck in 5 minutes before class, which is passing time, and snagged them. We all done crazy things with our teachers and stuff like that. I love teachers. I'll tell you why. My girlfriend's a teacher. I've been with the same woman for 11 years now. And she's my executive assistant, and she's a teacher. She's a school teacher. So I can't say anything against teachers. And I tell her all the time, now she'll substitute. You know what I tell her? Don't do shit. Man, leave them alone. When you're a substitute teacher, you're not supposed to do shit. You're supposed to let the kids do nothing. Shit. Let me be a substitute teacher. It'd be a zoo. I can tell you that. You'd have a lot of fun, though. Here's another one. I used to work at the grocery store called Kroger. Its name is different throughout the states. And I'd always be checking out these wine bottles whenever I went into the back of the store. I had never been drunk before and was not of age. I really wanted to try it for the first time. I ended up wearing a thick jacket to work one of those days and only put it in when I was about to leave the store. I went to the back and quickly slipped the bottle underneath and held it through the jacket as I walked. I looked for cameras every time I was back there, but never saw any, but I was still kind of iffy about it. Needless to say, I got away with it. I got home and started drinking it when my family was asleep, only later to find out that it was non-alcoholic wine. I've never been so disappointed in my life. Oh my God. I know so many stories of young kids buying oregano or buying some bullshit that they thought was weed. Come on, if you're out there, you know who you are. You got slammed. Listen, I'll tell you a funny story I'll never forget. I was in New York City. I'm in my late 20s, and I was down in Little Italy. I was getting money. I did my stuff with the illegal stuff, with the diamonds and all that. And I'm at a light, and of course, a con artist runs up to my car. He goes, "Look, man, hey, I got a hot camera. You want a hot camera? $200 for this hot camera." It's got the box. I look at the box. It weighs the right weight, brand new, it looked good. I said, "Man, how much you want for it?" He goes, $200. I go, "Nah, I ain't doing it." And the light's going. He goes, "Man, come on, hurry up, give me $200. It's brand new. Look at it, it's $1,000 camera." I said, "I'll tell you what, man, I'll give you $50 for it." He goes, "All right, hurry up, the light's going." I give him $50. I take it, I sit down, and I'm going, and I'm thinking, okay, I got a $50 camera. I'm good. I haggled him down. Sure enough, there was rocks in the box. I got scammed. I got hit. The criminal got hit. So don't think you can't get caught. Everybody, they always say the easiest person to con is a con himself. Me and my buddies would steal those spinning shiny lights people put outside their house around Christmas time and trade them to a dealer for weed and stuff. Ingenuity, quick thinking, seasonal criminal. Not a bad move. I gotta give you that. Not a bad move. So, pretty good one. I'm not gonna knock that one. Here's another one. I'm a photographer in Florida, and when I was starting out, I took my super crappy $300 camera out to graffiti some buildings and got caught. The police confiscated my camera and left me for 2 years without a camera as a working photographer. I just recently got that camera back. Since then, I've stolen upwards of $10,000 worth of camera equipment from this camera store in the next city over. Needless to say, I'm well over my head, and I've gone beyond testing my luck trying to pickpocket entire cameras and huge lenses right in front of the employee. I went as far as to take a $1,000 lens, figure out it was broken, steal another one that next day, and right after I steal the second one, I go back and sell the broken lens back to them for almost full price. I'm not bragging. I'm beyond lucky that I never got caught. And if it wasn't for years of practicing sleight of hand for magic tricks, I would be in jail for sure. Hey man, listen, stop. And that's real great advice right there, because you will get caught. They'll figure it out. There's so much technology today. It's funny. Somebody asked me Hey, Larry, what would you do? Would you steal again? And you know, I always say, listen, it's not worth my life, not my kid's life. I tell people, listen, if I steal with you, 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead. And trust me, if I ever stole $5 million, nobody would be around to be able to tell who stole $5 million. Larry Lawton would have $5 million on an island he just bought somewhere with an umbrella, with a drink with an umbrella in it. But all kidding aside, I wouldn't steal anymore. That's way past me. I really believe that. Nothing can push me that way. It really can't. The few things that could put me back in prison, and I have to do it with my children, or somebody doing something the wrong way in that way, with family, something like that. And I don't think I'd lose it, I think. But my point is, stop. You're not, this is not even petty larceny. This is grand theft. This will get you some time in the joint. So you got away with it, get away, get out, and run away. You know, the biggest problem with most criminals, me too, is we don't learn. You know, I know of only one person I know who got out of the drug game way back in the 80s, late 80s. And then he opened auto body stores, and he's a legit guy, never went back into it again in his life. Didn't do any time. He got away with a couple of loads, and that was it. You don't see that very often. Very, very rare. People think they're going to get away with it forever. I don't know if you think doing that. I hope you're not. I hope it's just a story, and I really do. And it's a great story, though. And goes to show you, you can get sucked in, and you're lucky you never got caught. You really are. Okay, I'm going to do my last one, and then close it out on this one. A funny story that still confuses me to this day is when I got blackout drunk and woke up with $16,000. My night started with me and some old friends of mine going to this one female's house who was a huge cokehead. She would always have at least an 8-ball on her, and to top it off, she was a huge alcoholic. We get to drinking, and immediately I start off stronger than I should have. As we all get hammered, the girl I was with started snorting her coke until her bag was empty. When she finished it, she told us that we needed to go to her connect's house so she can re-up her fix. Before we leave, we decided to get some more drinks in us. The rest of the night is a blur. The only other thing I remember was pulling up to the connect's house, the dealer's house. Then nothing after that. When I woke up the next morning, I noticed a brown paper bag on my windowsill. Confused, I opened it up and find a shit ton of 50s and $100 bills, and counted out to be just over $16,000. I don't know how I got it, and to be honest, I was worried that some coke dealer, coke plug would be trying to kill me. That's kind of a funny story. I've gotten blackout drunk myself, didn't know what happened. I've had one time blood all over me, and I didn't know what happened. And I knew later, I found out that I was in a fight and fucked this guy up pretty good in a fight. And thank God that's all it was a fight. And getting blackout drunk is not the smartest thing. But hey, waking up with $16K can't be bad. And you got away with it. And you got high and drunk that night. Boy, talk about a trifecta. You had a hell of a night. Please, don't try this at home, everybody. Don't go out looking for the coke dealer and stuff. Listen, I did all that. Pot, coke, heroin, meth, acid, you name it, I did it. I don't do drugs anymore. I'm past that. I love my life too much. I like to remember all the fun I'm having. I enjoy doing this with you guys, and I want to thank you guys for this. You guys really make my day. You make me having fun doing these. We're going to do a bunch of these, maybe once a week. I'll pop one of these since our new schedules are Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 2 p.m. for videos. We're loving the suggestions coming in, everybody. I read so many of them. You guys know that. I'm going to keep doing that. Check out the links below again. Instagram. I'm starting a Facebook fan page. Somebody asked me to do that. I'm going to do that. Thanks again, everybody. Still got some books left. I really appreciate you guys. Always loving what I do. I really do. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love it. The cooking series is coming. I was doing the utensils. To be interviewing my brother next. But the cooking series is coming. It's not off. I'm going to be making prison pasta because everybody wants my prison pasta. It's going to be the most famous meal on the planet. Larry's prison pasta. Coming soon. So I won't disappoint. You know that I keep doing videos, and I'm going to keep doing videos because that's what you guys want, and that's what I want. Check out our membership page here on YouTube. Check out our membership page on Patreon. All the support you give us is needed and appreciated. Really is from my heart. It keeps this whole team working. Videos, everything we're doing. I get a kick out of all your comments and stuff, and I know you guys are supporting me in any way you can. I really mean that. That is much love and respect. And guys, please, again, make good choices. Have fun. I'm never telling people not to have fun. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff after this virus is gone. I'm doing a tour with my RV, stopping in areas, so check it out. Stay connected to us. Make sure your notifications are on. And have a great week. Have a great day. And please make good choices. Have a great day. Love you.